Welcome to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. Doing business in life with a purpose, serving others, and achieving success. I'm your host, Steve Ramona, and we created this show for you because we want everyone to learn how to do business, life, to make an impact in the world. I want you to think about who you're going to serve today and what impact will you make. And I'm excited to have my guest today because we all need inspiration. And his story from the NFL to 825 an hour and now a speaking keynote speaker is amazing. Hey, Marques, welcome to the show.
How you doing, Steve? Thanks for having me on, sir.
Oh, you're very welcome. I'm doing fantastic. Let's jump right into it. You talk about inspiration in your keynote speaking. How important is that for a business or a person?
You know, Steve, inspiration is breathing life and or hope into someone that usually is facing darkness, despair, or hard times. I was just on the phone with a friend of mine telling me that he was 20 days late on his rent, and his wife's company paid for their rent, which I thought was amazing. But that right there to me is inspiration. His wife's company breathed hope, life, and light into him and his wife to help them keep their place. And a lot of people are going through that because it's very hard out there with everything going on. So I am very not just empathetic, I'm also compassionate because empathy is when you've been in someone's shoes. I've lost everything, lost my home, had to start over, all that kind of stuff. So I empathize with him and others. And then I'm compassionate because I know what it's like to just really go through hard times. I've never had a company pay well, that's not true. I did have the NFL pay my mortgage for my rent for a few months, but I've never had a corporate company or even like my spouse's corporate company pay for that. So I can really understand, be compassionate what he had to go through and still going through, trying to get himself back on his feet. So to me, inspiration, Steve, breathing life and or hope into someone when they're in their darkest hour.
It's so well said, Marques. I appreciate you saying that. What did you learn about inspiration in the NFL?
What I learned about inspiration, Steve, is that at the end of the day, it's all about what we have to do to change our mindset. Your mindset is the most powerful tool in your toolbox. You can either really be like, oh, poor me, do this, or you say, you know what, today's a new day. Let me go forward. Let me go be aggressive. Let me go do what I have to do, right? So to me, the NFL taught me about how to really ignite and or reignite my inspiration, right, Steve?
Yeah.
If times are getting hard, because again, the human mind is going to bend through a lot of situations that are adverse and are difficult, but it just can't break. So as long as it doesn't break, you're always in a position to rebound and get yourself back where you want to be.
Yeah, that's the key, rebounding. So sports, I'm a big sports guy and I've played it and I know the importance of sports. What can you tell people? Because you got to the top. Not everybody needs to be. I've never reached the NFL, but sports has been such a great experience for me. What can you tell people in the audience who can't make the NFL, the NBA, the MLB, how sports can help them?
Sports can teach you discipline. Sports can teach you how to work with others. Sports can teach you how to respect your craft. So I'm really watching a lot of documentaries lately. Say Hey Willie Mays, Babe Ruth documentary, Andre the Giant documentary. And even though WWE is not really a sport, it's more entertainment,
Yeah.
You're still out there having to work with others. You're still out there having to enlighten the fans and get them excited. And then in baseball, Babe Ruth and Willie Mays and all these phenomenal people, they were out there doing an individual sport like baseball, so you're up there in the batter's box, but you still have to play as a team in the outfield, the pitching, the catching, the throwing. If you don't have that, right, Steve, you won't win, right? So like Babe Ruth, they were a dynasty with the Yankees, right? Willie Mays was the top paid player in baseball with the New York Giants that became the San Francisco Giants, right? So again, it's all about discipline, community, teamwork, how to respond, how to work through stuff. So sports, no matter how high you get, if you pay attention to the signs, it can teach you a lot.
I like that because I don't want sports to go away. There's so many lessons to be learned. NFL, the top, we just said it earlier, but you get from the NFL to barely, you're not even paying your rent, getting $8.25 an hour. People are like, oh my God, he's set for life. We know the Abdul-Jabbar story where he lost everything and his people coming to light. And now you're a successful keynote speaker. How the heck did you do that?
So I hit rock bottom when I had my spoiled milk moment as a custodian, where somebody's trash and rotten meat and nasty garbage got over my body, my skin, and my clothes. And what happened is I really started to really delve into the J.K. Rowling's quote, rock bottom is the moment that I rebuilt my life. And looking at that, right, Steve, I said, wow, here I am at rock bottom. The only person that can get me off this curb is me. And if I don't make a change today, I'm going to be always blaming others. Poor Marques, feel bad for Marques, pity Marques, help Marques. And I said, no, I'm tired of this. And the result of that, I said, you know what? I'm going to get off this curb. I'm going to try to speak. I'm going to try to help others. But here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. It took me 2.5 years to get my first paid job. 2.5 years. And finally I got it. And it still wasn't consistent. It still was hard. It was still ups and downs. And then when I put my podcast out in 2022, it helped us. I had worked for a lot of companies before that, large, like Fortune 500. But in the last 18 months, we really worked on branding ourselves as the Victory Mindset brand in conjunction with helping others not hit rock bottom. And also we're all about authenticity, which is why our show is called Get Authentic with Marques Ogden. As a result of that, right, Steve, I'm now moving forward. But the speaking started after my rock bottom moment when I made the decision I was going to help people hopefully not end up on the curb like I was.
Servant's heart right there, taking your experiences and teaching others, mentoring them and helping them. I love
Correct.
it. That's so powerful. Here's a unique question. Maybe you've been asked, what's harder, the NFL or corporate life?
Corporate life is harder mentally. Football is harder physically because it's harder on your body. And when it comes to corporate, depending on what you're doing, it just takes time. Let me take that back. No matter what you're doing, it takes time to raise up the ladder, right? But if you're in business or you're trying to start a business or you're trying to start something new, right? Like I was with speaking, it takes time. Don't ever expect how you're going to just get hired right away. That's not realistic, right?
Yeah.
A few people may, it'd be like 1 or 2 out of 1,000 or 1 or 2 out of 100,000, but that's not the norm, right? So even like me, I didn't get hired for 2.5 years, right? And I really had to prove myself. I had to serve people. I had to do a lot of free jobs to get where I'm at today. So I tell people all the time, it's all about how we move and how we really position ourselves. And we have to pivot. We have to make the changes needed and necessary to get good.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting you say free jobs. People are like, oh, I need money, Marques. I'm rock bottom. Why'd you go to the free jobs?
So, here's the thing. When you are in a position of trying to get off the curb, you have to look within yourself, right? And I never wanted to get anybody else involved in my struggles, my hardships, what I was trying to get through, what I was trying to go through. As a result of that, that's when things for me got better. And I tell people all the time, when you go through hard times, you have to dig yourself out. If you don't dig yourself out, then really, right, Steve, what have you learned?
Nothing.
What have you learned? You've learned nothing.
Yeah.
You've learned nothing. And all you do is when things happen in life, right, Steve, you're saying, oh, I messed up on this. Oh, this didn't go well. Okay, who can I call? Who can bail me out? Who can help me? That's not real life, right? In my opinion, that's not real life. I never expected my brother, anybody else that I knew to come to my rescue because it wasn't their mess. They didn't create it. They didn't start it. And as a result of that, I had to work my way. I had to rise from the ashes. I had to claw from the depths of hell to get myself back on track. And it took me a long time. It's interesting. I remember asking a friend of mine, well, I won't call him a friend, just a really good guy, more of an associate. I said, hey, man, I was just like 2000, I want to say 14, right? 2014 or 15. So I had not had a paid job yet, had a lot of work, was all free. I remember asking this person, said, hey, Tom, would you mind introducing me to your network to help me get paid speaking jobs? And Tom looked at me and said, Marques, I really don't know you that well. And you really don't have a track record for me to go out and risk my reputation for you to try to get paid speaking jobs. I'm sorry, but I won't be able to help you. And at that point, we never spoke again. And in reality, for a while, I was disappointed at that. But now being where I am in my career, 10 years in, worked really hard, really put a lot of time, energy, effort, servant leadership into this. I really respect Tom for not opening up his network to me back in 2014, 15, because, right, Steve, I would have been a really not good speaker. And I would have damaged my reputation with him even worse. And I would have made him look bad to his network for bringing somebody to the table that wasn't ready. And so now I've learned if people ask me for a favor, all right, well, tell me, what have you done? Why should I do this, right? Now, if you can prove to me you have the pedigree, I'll consider helping you, right? But if you come to me saying, hey, Marques, I'm just starting out, could you introduce me to some of your big paying clients? I'm like, well, why? Like, what are you going to do for them to make them feel it's a great introduction? And then all that happens is I look like a bad individual bringing somebody to the table that wasn't ready. That's not a servant leader. So Tom, even though it hurt at the time, right, Steve, was a true servant leader with a true servant heart. Me, with my clients, I'll coach you, I'll develop you, and when I feel you're ready, I'll then introduce you to people that can help you in that regard.
You're right. True servant says no. That's the power of being a servant, because you're helping people in the long run, and you're being authentic, which is get authentic with Marques Ogden is what your podcast and your life is about. But that leads to selling, and we're selling all the time. I sold you to be on this podcast. We're business or life, doesn't matter. But how important is being authentic when you're selling or building relationships?
It's everything, because if you're not real, if you're not authentic, if you're not genuine, people will see right through you. So the guy who opened up to me about hard situations, tough times, his wife's company paid their rent, I understand, because I have been there, and people know July of 2022, I had to file for divorce. November 2022, I had to move out into a 2-bedroom, dilapidated, outdated, really dark apartment after finding out some information about my spouse that I was not expecting to find out. And I went into a deep, dark depression November, December, and the first half of January of 2023. I made the decision January 15, 2023, I was going to get myself going in the right direction. I was going to turn myself around. I was going to push forward. I was going to get my life back on track. And I've worked hard. I put the time in. I developed myself. I went through a lot of the good days, bad days, all these things. And I bought my dream home 6 months ahead of schedule. Bought a $500,000 home by myself as an entrepreneur with no W-2 salary in a really hard economic time. And I'm the only single person in my entire development so far. Out of about maybe 80 people living here. They're going to build 1,200 homes. I think about 80 live here right now. I'm the only single person that I know of so far in this neighborhood. And I did it by being a servant and helping people with our podcast, with our services, with our outreach, but at the same time, at the end of the day, right, Steve, I put the clients first. I put the purpose of our podcast of helping people being authentic first. People responded with wanting to sponsor, hire me, connect with us, collaborate, and all in between. And at the end of the day, now here we are. So in selling, or what I call it like positioning yourself, if you're not being authentic, if you're not being real, people will see right through you.
Yeah, I love that. Mentors. I'm sure you had mentors. How important were they and why?
Oh, they're everything. I mean, my career was at a real stalemate until 2018. February, when I went to see Mel Robbins, who was a phenomenal top female keynote speaker. She is the highest paid female keynote speaker in our country, I believe. And I was on her audiobook, Kick Ass with Mel, and I went to Boston to be filmed for chapter 3. Mel told me, Marques, don't be a motivational speaker. Motivation is garbage. If you want to be a great speaker, be an inspirational keynote speaker that changes people's lives. That was the first great information that I got. The second was going to NAPSA program at Penn State, National Athletic Professional Success Academy, where my coach and my mentor, Brad Mitchell, who put that on, taught us. There were 7 of us in that pilot program. And that program, which I didn't even want to go to because I was like, oh, I'm getting a couple paid jobs. I think I'm the man. I'm good, right? And literally, that program saved my life and turned my business around. I still have the binder in my possession. It's on my desk in my office, and I'll have that binder to the day I die. Because that binder taught me about leadership. It taught me about how to be a better visionary, how to be a better businessman, how to be a better individual. And between Mel Robbins and her awesome platform, and then Brad Mitchell and NAPSA and their awesome 5-day intensive program, without both those people, who I am today would not be. I would be a very still high, low to middle of the road speaker, struggling, versus where we were just ranked 2 weeks ago, Steve, on MSN.com. It's one of the top 10 business speakers in North America. It was Magic Johnson, Kevin O'Leary, Robert Kiyosaki, us. Then we also had on the list Lori Grenier from Shark Tank, Tony Robbins is on the list, Duncan Wardell from Disney. So they had 10 of us, and we were number 4 on the list of 10 after Magic, Kevin O'Leary, and Robert Kiyosaki. So I can tell you where we're at now would not be without Mel and without Brad.
I didn't expect all that. That's powerful. An audience, if you're listening, anybody could do it. I mean, Marques is special because he took action. That's the difference. We all could do the same thing. Motivation and inspiration. I love that you said that about speaking. Tell the audience the difference in your eyes.
Motivation is doing something for the short term or external gain where you really don't have a passion for it. Inspiration is where you're doing something for a systemic, long, real change, and you're passionate about it, you love it, and you will go to the edge of the earth and beyond to get it. Great example. I was motivated with my construction company, Caden. Made a lot of money, really just all these things, cars, nightlife, women, you name it, but I never liked it. I never had a passion for it, and I eventually burnt out and lost everything. Started speaking in 2013, didn't get a paid job for 2.5 years, worked other jobs, birthday clown, birthday party, football camps, football training, custodian, concrete contractor, masonry salesman, you name it. But I never gave up on speaking. That's inspiration. You do it no matter what, and you don't give up, even when times get hard.
Can everybody be a speaker? Tough question.
Everybody can be a speaker. Yes. Here's the catch, though. You have to be willing to tell your story, and you have to be willing to be authentic and vulnerable. If you're not going to do that, can you still speak? Yes. Will it be much harder? Absolutely.
Should you be pitching when you're speaking your business?
Never.
I love it.
Absolutely never.
Yeah.
I spoke on stage at Family Office Club in Fort Lauderdale a couple weeks back. The guy before me made me cringe. He was up there, no stories, no information, no metaphors, nothing about liveliness, nothing. He was just giving factual data and trying to sell, oh, hey, please contact me if you want to invest. Please contact me if you want to donate and all these things. I went up there for 15 minutes and just spoke from the heart about mindset. I booked two coaching clients from there. I had a call with the guy 2 days ago about speaking for his smaller family office club in Nashville in January for $7,500. I literally just told my story. When I go speak on stage, it is not a sales pitch. It is storytelling mixed with action steps to help the audience win. If you're pitching while you're speaking, you won't be speaking long, in my opinion.
No, in my opinion as well. And audience, you hear that? He said he was very humble, which is why I love Marques, about the $7,500 gig, because all he talked about was mindset, not himself.
Mindset. That's it. And my struggles and my
Yep.
hardships and my failures and my alcohol addiction and my nightlife addiction and my women addiction, my gambling addiction, because that's what it was.
Yeah.
And then now I've turned my life around and here we are. And at the end of the day, I got to tell everybody, we all make mistakes. But if you make a mistake, own it, fix it, move on.
God, that's so simple. Even I can do that. Are you a mentor now yourself?
Yes, I mentor a lot of people. I coach a lot of people. If you want to grow a podcast, if you want to monetize it, if you want to speak, if you want to get larger speaking jobs, if you want to get a business, if you want to be a better communicator, if you want help with confidence or mindset, I coach a lot of people at this time. Very fortunate, very blessed. A lot of people love our work.
I love that. We've run out of time here because of everything you said. People, please listen to this over and over again. That's why a podcast is so powerful. You'll pick up different tidbits from what Marques is saying. Hey, Marques, how can they get a hold of you?
Great question. They can go to our app. You have an Apple phone or an Android, go to your app store and type in Marques, Marques, Ogden, Ogden. You can download our app. You can get access to our website, podcast. We're on Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeart, you name it. And you can also go to our link, Marques360. Again, Marques360.com. But our app is one of the fastest ways to get exclusive content, connect with us, and really hear what we're talking about on a personal and a business level.
Marques, thank you for the time. You've inspired me, and I'm sure inspired my audience. I really appreciate that.
I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you.
You bet. And audience, listen to the next episode of Doing Business in the Servant's Heart, because you may learn something or be inspired like you were today with Marques. We'll see you all in the next episode.